She pointed the blade at him. "Any last words?" "Yeah," he smiled. "You're holding it wrong." Chapter 1. The Betrayal. The ruins of the derelict ship groaned as if it still remembered war. Fires sputtered in broken corridors, throwing shadows across twisted steel. At the heart of the wreck, Captain Elias Ward staggered to his knees, blood dripping from a gash above his brow. And standing over him was Kayla Vera. Her silver hair was matted with ash, her violet eyes sharp with fury. In her hand gleamed a plasma-forged blade, humming with lethal energy. She leveled it at his chest, the tip hovering a breath away from his heart. "Any last words, Captain?" she asked. Her voice was calm, but beneath it was rage that had been simmering for years. Elias chuckled despite the pain. His cracked lips curled into a smile. "Yeah. You're holding it wrong." Chapter 2. Partners Once. Years ago, Elias and Kayla had been partners in the Orion Vanguard, a mercenary fleet feared across the outer colonies. He was the strategist, sharp and calculating. She was the blade, fast and deadly. Together, they had toppled warlords, stolen treasures from empires, and survived odds that should have killed them 100 times. But greed has a way of poisoning trust. The Vanguard's last mission had been their greatest, seizing the crown of Tarsus, an artifact said to grant control over minds. When the dust settled, Elias vanished, with the crown. Kayla was left to take the fall. For 3 years she hunted him, across dead moons and outlaw havens, through battles and betrayals. Until tonight. Chapter 3. The Standoff. The blade thrummed in her hand, a heartbeat of blue fire. "You lied to me," Kayla hissed. "You stole everything we fought for. You left me to rot in that prison." Elias winced, pushing himself up onto one elbow. "I left you alive. That counts for something. Alive." Her laugh was bitter. "Alive is not the same as free." She pressed the blade closer. The humming edge singed his jacket. "Say something clever, Captain. Something to make me hesitate. Because if you don't, I'm ending this right now." Elias tilted his head, that same maddening grin tugging at his lips. "Then I suppose I should point out, you're holding it wrong." Her brow furrowed. And then, before she could react, he moved. Chapter 4. The Reversal. Elias's hand shot up, twisting her wrist. With a sharp pivot, he redirected the blade sideways. The plasma hum screeched as it sliced into the deck, missing his throat by inches. Kayla cursed, but Elias had already rolled away, snatching a jagged piece of shrapnel from the floor. He slashed it across her arm, sparks flying as metal met plasma field. She staggered back, eyes wide, not with pain, but recognition. He had taught her how to fight. Every stance, every strike. And he still knew her better than anyone alive. "You always choke the grip when you're angry," Elias said, breathing hard. "Makes your wrist easy to twist. I warned you about that 100 times." Her fury ignited. "And now I correct it." She lunged. Chapter 5. Dance of Blades. Steel rang against plasma as Elias fought with nothing but scrap metal and instinct. Kayla's strikes were fast, precise, but he dodged with the reflexes of a man who had spent his life on the edge of death. They moved through the wreck like shadows dancing in firelight. Sparks lit the dark. Panels exploded under stray blows. "You stole the crown," Kayla spat, her blade slicing within a hair of his throat. "I hid it," Elias snapped back, ducking under her swing. "If the Vanguard had kept it, we'd all be slaves to whoever wore it next." "You expect me to believe you're the noble one? I expect you to remember who I am." He blocked a strike with his makeshift blade, the impact jolting through his arms. "I never betrayed you. I saved you." Her eyes burned. "You saved yourself." Chapter 6. The Truth. At last, she cornered him in the shattered bridge. Sparks rained from consoles, casting eerie light across her face. The plasma blade hovered at his chest again. No more games, Elias. Where is the crown? Elias's smile faded. He was exhausted, bleeding, cornered. But his voice was steady. Destroyed. Her eyes widened. You lie. He shook his head. I took it to the Black Sons of Zerath. Dropped it into the gravity well. It's gone. She stared at him, blade trembling. Years of anger warred with a flicker of doubt in her gaze. Why? She whispered. Because no one should have that kind of power, Elias said. Not me. Not the Vanguard. Not you. Silence hung between them, heavier than the wreckage. Chapter 7. Monsters at the Gate. The ship shuddered violently. Through a cracked viewport, shapes moved in the void, sleek predator craft with crimson markings. Kayla cursed. The Crimson Syndicate. They tracked me here. Correction, Elias said grimly. They tracked the crown. They don't know it's gone. The Syndicate's ships latched onto the wreck like vultures. Armed figures swarmed aboard. Kayla glanced at Elias, torn. Kill him now, or fight beside him again. He gave her that infuriating grin. So, truce. She hated herself for it. But she nodded. Chapter 8. Back to back. They fought as they once had, back to back, blades and fists moving as one. Kayla carved through Syndicate raiders with lethal grace. Elias fought dirty, using shrapnel, pipes, and the environment itself. Still choke your grip when you're angry, he muttered as she nearly lost balance. She snarled. Still run your mouth when you should shut up. Bodies littered the bridge. Smoke choked the air. But more Syndicate fighters poured in. We can't hold them, Kayla panted. Elias's gaze fell to the ship's reactor core, sparking and unstable. A plan formed. Maybe we don't. Chapter 9. The Last Gambit. They fought their way to engineering, sealing bulkheads behind them. Elias tore into the reactor controls, fingers flying over melted circuits. What are you doing? Kayla demanded. Overloading it, Elias said. We'll blow the ship and take the Syndicate with us. And us. He smirked. Unless we ride the escape pods out in the blast wave. She stared at him. It was insane. Reckless. Impossible. But then, so were they. Chapter 10. Trust Again. As the reactor screamed toward overload, they strapped into a battered escape pod. Still don't trust you, Kayla muttered. Good, Elias said with a grin. I don't trust me either. The core detonated. Fire consumed the wreck. The pod shot free, spinning through chaos. Syndicate ships tore apart in the shockwave. Inside, pressed together by the violent G-forces, Kayla found herself laughing. Still alive, Elias gasped. For now, she said, eyes narrowing. Don't think this makes us even. He smirked. Wouldn't dream of it. Epilogue. Any last words? Later, drifting among the wreckage, they finally had a moment of quiet. Kayla still held the blade, though it now rested loosely at her side. She looked at him, exhaustion in her eyes. You really destroyed it. Elias nodded. I did. And I'd do it again. Her blade lifted halfway, as if old instincts urged her to finish what she started. Any last words? She asked, softly this time. Elias smiled, leaning back in the pod seat. Yeah. You're holding it wrong. For the first time in years, Kayla laughed. And though the future was uncertain, for now, they were alive. Together.